Happy going back there, more YouTube channel. It's Chris back with Rumour Has It video about players linked to the football club this coming January transfer window. And we have loads of players linked because we have loads of injuries. You name it, we've got an injury. Defence, midfield, attack. So we need players back sharpish and we need new players in, probably even more sharpish. So we're going to be linked to loads of players, a plethora of players, if you will. We're linked to a defender here, and this kid looks the real deal despite his young age. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute. Just before we do, as we always remind you, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. We'd love you to come and join us. We're over 5,700 subs, so loads of room for you here and Evermore. There's loads of content. Transfer Rumours, like the one you're just about to watch, the live show every Monday with me and Mark, where we just have a good old crack and natter amongst each other and in the chat as well. It's a great place to be. That we have the match previews and the post-match analysis and the odd rant when anything annoys me, which is quite regular these days. So yeah, why not smash that button? It's all free content, but if you do want to give a little bit back, there is a membership option for just $1.99 a month, and you get access to all the videos before everybody else, and you get some extra goodies and bits and bobs that Mark is cooking up for you in the members hut. So why not smash that button? Come and join us, you won't regret it. So who am I talking about now? Well, I'm talking about this player right here, who was a very young but very talented defender, and it's Ousmane Diomande, who's 19, and he plays for Sporting Lisbon, and by God, this kid looks a player. He really, really does. He's only 19 years old. Ivory International, I think he's only had one cap, but he seems to have everything in the locker. He really does. He's got pace, he's got power, he's good on the ball, he's good in the air. Brilliant tackler, good interception, great vision for a young player as well. It really looks like he could be the next big quality African superstar coming out, in the years to come. I think, Africa's always produced some really, really good players. And when you think back to the likes of Kolo Touré back in the day as well, this lad could really, really be one of those players. Yaya Touré as well, obviously from the midfield, but he just looks the business. He really does. He's only 19 years old, which is absolutely frightening. So we have been linked to the player. Arsenal have been strongly linked to the player. I think they were tying up a £35 million bid in the summer, but apparently Sporting didn't want to sell for such a low figure in their mind. They view the player more at €70 million. His contract expires in 2027, so it will take a hell of a bid to get this kid out of Sporting Lisbon. But this is exactly the same kind of conversation that we all had when we talked about Sven Botman at Lille. And look what happened there. We managed to get that deal done for an unbelievable fee of, I think, just under 40 million for Sven Botman. So you never know. The same thing could be said for Ousmane Diomande. A lot of these teams are struggling against FFP. They need money back in, and they might potentially have to sell prize assets for less than they want to sell them for, if the right offer comes along. But let's talk about the player himself. The best thing I think about this player overall, never mind the fact that he's 19 and mint, is he's right-footed as well. He's right-footed, so it gives you that great balance in that back line, potentially, if you bring this lad in for the long-term successor to Fabian Schär, who's playing probably the best football of his career as of late. I'm not saying Schär's going to get out of the team if we do sign this kid, but we do need to start thinking about a contingency plan. We've already done that in the full-back area. When you look at Livramento and you look at Lewis Hall, Sven Botman is still very young in terms of a left-sided centre-half. All of his years are ahead of him. But if you bring somebody in to replace Fabian Schär in that back line as well, who's got years ahead of them, who's only going to get better, and working with a really, really good coach who gets the best out of players, this kid could be frightening for Newcastle United. So let's look at his stats. As you can see there, there's loads of greens all over the place. So breaking it down into the pure stats of a defender, what you and I would look for really is defensively, tackles. He's right up there in the 89th, 90th percentile. Tackles one, he's in the 85th percentile. So he's right up there. Some of the videos you see of him doing his bit, playing his game, flies into tackles, throws himself in front of everything, really. So he's a really, really good player. His interceptions and blocks and clearances are quite low there, but because he's got so much speed, he doesn't have to kind of fly in to do clearances and blocks. He's able to nick the ball off the opposing player and maybe start moves as well, which you can see with his passing there. His passes, he's right up in the 99th percentile. Pass completion, 96. Key passes, he's up there, kind of in the 80th percentile. Progressive carries as well, he's up in the 90th. He gets that ball and he runs with it because he's got that long leggy style, but he's got so much pace as well in terms of his recoveries as well. His recoveries look a little bit further down on the scale there, but he is able to get back and use that pace to get those tackles in. His touches, he has a lot of touches of the ball, as you can see. Very few errors, doesn't get dispossessed a great deal either, and fouls are very low as well. So this is only 19 years old as well, so technically he's a raw diamond really in the rough, but he just looks to be a real player, a real quality player, and I think this kid is going to have a huge future in the game. I really do, and if that future is in Newcastle United, I'll be over the moon with that. But I think the stumbling block for this, as I said, is the cost. €70 million, what's that going to be, 65 million quid in January? That's a lot of money. You know, I think we need to sign at least 2 or 3 players in the January transfer window. Me and Mark have said that before. You need a defender, and you need a defensive midfielder, and you need a striker. So straight away, you know, you look at a defensive midfielder, if they can get a loan to buy deal for Calvin Phillips, that is the best deal for everybody all around, I think, especially for us, because we can stretch that player off into next summer. When we have to, you know, spend on the player and drop that fee on the player. Defensively, you know, yeah, you might have to drop anywhere between 40 to 50 million quid in a player. If you can get Diomande for that, happy days. But then up front, you're going to have to drop probably anywhere between 25 to 100 million, depending on where you're going to go. Are you going to go for an experienced striker? You're going to go for Victor Osimhen? Are you going to go for Ivan Toney? Are you going to go for a young striker coming through like Leonardo? We're going to go back for like a TK. You know, I know what my opinion is on that one, but you know, there's a couple of options here Newcastle have to consider. But those 3 positions have to be filled at a bare minimum in this transfer window come January. January is an awful window to go shopping. You never get true value for money, but a player like Diomande might be worth just dropping that extra bit of cheddar on, because this kid is going to be an unbelievable centre half in world football. I'm pretty sure that if Newcastle get him at the right time, we could be looking at one of the best defenders we've arguably ever had at the football club, and him and Botman could form a partnership that could go down in history in the Premier League, really, you know, when Cher is ready to kind of call it a day or to move on, you know, once he gets to that stage of his career. But at the minute, you know, Cher and Botman are a brilliant centre-half pair, and they were the best defensive unit last season in the Premier League, but we do need cover and we do need long-term successors. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below about Diomande. Have you seen him play? Am I right? Am I wrong? You know, do you think he's maybe not all that? Does he have weaknesses to games that we haven't really, you know, highlighted in that quick stat slide there? If there's another defender that you guys think is better, link him, why not? We always try and reply to them when you drop a comment in. As I mentioned at the start, if you haven't already subscribed, we'd love to have you on board. Like the video too, help the channel grow. And if you want to be a member and give a little bit back to the channel to help us keep giving you content like this, it's $1.99 a month. Smash that button. Come and join the rest of the guys in the membership squad. You won't regret it. Have a cracking day wherever you are. We'll be back with some more transfer rumours soon, because there's loads of them. We'll catch you later. Cheers. Bye-bye.